Well, you know, I got up this morning, guys, and the weatherman said, might be some snow. He was right. We did have snow. And I'm way behind on my tractor getting it ready for winter. So today in the shop, we're going to winterize my tractor. So come on in the shop and let's check it out. You know, I really hope that the weatherman had been wrong because I have a whole bunch of other stuff that I wanted to do today, but I got to get my tractor ready because I don't think the snow's going away anytime soon. So, you know what? Before I'm going to give you a walk around of the tractor, but I'm going to get the oil draining first, so that while it's draining, we can, talk about this tractor. All right. So this is a Super A, and it's got live hydraulics. This is what's called the touch control. These levers control the hydraulic pump, and this little box here, when these tractors were new, they were 6 volt and the battery used to go in here, but I have since changed this tractor over to 12 volt and I put it underneath the seat. Normally the seat would be over here, but I'm pretty sure that in 1948 guys were shorter because I couldn't even get my feet in here. So I had to move this seat way back so I could get some leg room and operate this tractor. So it's got live hydraulics. So I've got a touch control, one for the front, one for the back, one for the front. And this lever here controls the throttle. And so you can like set your throttle and not worry about it while you're tooling down the road. And let's see, this is the air cleaner. It's an oil bath air cleaner. And we'll have to change the oil on that too. In fact, might as well get this over a little bit. I mean, look at how cool this is. You don't even need a wrench. You just turn this little dude. I mean, this is how cars should be made. Pretty simple stuff. I really like that. And down it comes. Ooh, look at that goober in there. There's probably a bee or something. Gave his all. Ooh, I don't know what that is, but it's not good. Look at that. There's all kinds of goodies in there. Bees and stink bugs and all kinds of North Idaho stuff. All right, so we'll let that drain for a little bit and then we'll clean that up. And wipe my hands off here. Okay, so there's the air cleaner, carburetor. Okay, here's the intake for the air cleaner. And they use a mason jar and it catches like bigger bugs. So probably wouldn't look good on a street rod, but on a tractor it works. It works for me. I converted this over to 12 volts, so I got a Chevrolet alternator on here so to run my lights and my backup lights. And I built this front blade for this tractor so I could push snow and dirt and stuff. And I actually designed it so it can pivot. And I can also change the angle of the blade, pull these pins and move the angle in and out. And I had to add these braces here because I started to bend the blade in. So I put those braces on to protect that. I got this spring in here, and what this is for is when I lower this blade down on the ground, and let's say the tires drop in a hole, there's lots of holes in the property, so the tire drops in the hole, but the blade can't drop in the hole. So this is like a shock absorber. So the blade comes up and compresses the spring instead of putting tension on the touch control arm here. So it's just a way of protecting this from breaking. And so what I had to do when I did this was, this motion is back and forth, and I had to change it to up and down. So I built a bell crank here. So as this pushes this way, this pushes down this way. And then this is a 2-to-1 ratio. So this distance from here to here is half of this distance from here to here. So this is twice as long. So if I push this down a foot, this raises up 2 feet. But it doesn't raise up that much, but that gives you the general idea. So here's the water gauge for the tractor. You can kind of see it from the seat. Distributor, magneto distributor. So I don't really need a battery to start this. In fact, right here by the seat, I've got a crank. And when the battery's dead like it was when I moved it in here, I had to use the crank to start it up. So it's pretty cool. You pull this rascal out. Let me show you. It's got a pin on there. And then in the front of the tractor here, there's a hole. You lock it in, and then you just turn the motor over, give it a couple of good cranks, and starts right up. It's pretty cool. Wouldn't that look cool in a Safeway parking lot? We'll start that car right up. So, in fact, maybe I should drive this to the grocery store. But I see all kinds of funny things in North Idaho. People driving to the grocery store. So we're going to change the oil today. Charge the battery up, obviously. Let's see, what else? Oh, there's some more stuff about this tractor. It's kind of cool. I guess you could call this an option in the day. This is an actual throttle too. So in addition to this touch control here, see this one here, how it works? Okay, well they have another little ear off of here, and it connects to this foot pedal. So I could have a preset throttle, whatever I wanted it to, and then if I needed a little extra juice, I could just give it some juice with my foot. So that's pretty cool. This is your tractor parking brake here, and the way it works is this is off, and then you would just kick it with your boot like this, and then as you put the brakes on, there's a ratchet here, and it would catch and hold it. So you just put a lot of pressure on this ratcheting mechanism catches it and holds it. And then to release it, you just flip it off with your boot, and the pedal comes back. It also has independent brake levers for left and right. So there are times when we're pushing something with the front and the tractor's starting to go the other way, you can apply the brake to the opposite drive wheel to help straighten the tractor out. You can actually steer the tractor with your back brakes. Kind of like how they do on, tanks and crawlers and stuff like that. So that's a pretty good feature there. Let's see, what else? I don't know. Yeah, I'll cover more stuff as we go along. So got the oil drain in. I'm going to go ahead and charge up the battery. Get that going. I have a wrench here somewhere. And get this thing all going here. This baby's loosened up. This battery's not that old. It's only 2 years old. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I must have put that one on when just after I got out of the gym. They make a little puller for these, and I've just never got around to buying one. One of those deals where you wish you had bought it, but you didn't buy it, and then you tell yourself, I'll never buy that, and then you still don't buy it. I don't know why that is. I'll use the old large screwdriver spreading technique invented by somebody. And all right, so the red goes to positive, black goes to ground. Set that on charge. Plug this thing in. And charge her up. Oh yeah. 6 amps of charging. That's good. That's good. All right, so we got our oil. Looks like the oil's drained out. So let's go ahead and put the drain plug back in. And you know, some people refinish their tractors and make them really beautiful, and that's cool. I like looking at those, but this is like a working tractor, so it's going to get scratches on it, and that's okay. It's all right. These two deals here, this is totally old school here. So this one here, you open this up, and when it's full of oil, there's a little hole on the bottom right here, and oil dribbles out of that hole. And this one here is the minimum level. So you want to keep your oil between these two heights. Is that cool or what? No dipstick. So I'll leave that open so I can add some oil to it. And now we also have to go over to the other side. Let me slide this over. And we got to take the oil filter out. They didn't do spin-on oil filters for these guys. They used these canister type. So there's a big old bolt in the top of this. And I can't remember if oil stays in it or if it drains back into the pan. I don't remember, so I guess we're going to find out. So I got that loose. Boy, that is tight. There we go. Oh, all right, no oil in there. Cool. Okay, so here's what this looks like. You got a bolt, and then you got a canister filter that fits in there. And it's pretty simple, like really simple. And then there's I got to get a pick tool. There's an O-ring inside here that metal part fits over and pushes into this groove here, and that's what keeps it from leaking oil. So let me get a pick tool and dig that one out. Because when you buy the new oil filter, it comes with a new O-ring for that. And it's not really an O-ring actually, it's more of a I guess just like a square O-ring, if there is such a thing. Would you call that an O-ring? I don't know. Is an O-ring because it's round? Or is it an O-ring? Does it not become an O-ring anymore when it's square? I'll show you in a minute. Something for you to think about. I probably overthink this too much. All right, come on, baby. There it is, see it? So that comes out. So you see, it's round like an O-ring, but it's you know, like square. So I guess it's an O-ring because it's round. I don't know. Inquiring minds want to know the answers to these probing questions. All right, so let me wipe this off here. Get it all nice and clean. Make sure there's no dirt in that groove because I don't want an oil leak. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Wipe that out. Wash this off with a... Oh yeah. That looks factory new right now. Huh. All right, let's get the new filter and the new square O-ring. Get those in there. You know what's kind of wild about this stuff? I go into Napa, right? I tell them, hey, I need an oil filter for a 48 International Super A tractor. The guy goes, do you want the silver or the gold? I mean, and they have it in stock. I don't even have to order it. That's amazing. A 48 in stock. Amazing. I go in there for stuff for my Chevy and I gotta order it. And it's a 93. It doesn't make sense. All right, so you kind of work this thing around in there. It just drops in the hole, just like that, okay? And that just fits down in there like that. And then the canister just slips over it like that. And then, I don't know if the bolt will fit in or if I have to put the bolt in first. Let's see. Oh yeah, it'll work. So it goes down through the filter, threads in. Keep threading that in. Yep, it's going in. That's good. All right, let me get my custom adjustable wrench here. And you don't have to get super crazy on how tight it is. You just want it, you know, snug down. Okay, so I got that. I got that out. You can go ahead and put some oil in this. Oil goes in here. And I'm going to go ahead and pour some oil in that. And then I'm going to get busy. We're going to do some greasing and stuff on this thing. So give me a few minutes. I'll be right back. All right. I'm getting my Black Gold Texas tea oil in here. I'm going 1540. I think that'll work. I need the 40 because, you know, all the bearings and stuff they get a little loosey-goosey after a whole bunch of years. 48. Yeah, it's old. So let that drain fill up while we're doing that, and then I'm gonna get the air cleaner with this. Man, I just don't even know what that stuff is, but oh look, that's a bug. Nice. Okay, this is kerosene. Oh, I got to tell you guys a story about kerosene. A long time ago, I had a neighbor, and he used to like to race, okay? And I was going to work, and I came home, and he had his car all taken apart. His transmission was all taken apart. He said he didn't get second gear on it. It was an automatic. And so he was going to rebuild it. And so I was over there. I came over later after supper, and he had almost got it all put back together, right? And he had newspapers on the floor, and all his some of the leftover parts were still there. And he didn't feel the need to go get some kerosene for cleaning parts, so he just used some gas, that he uses for his lawnmower. So he had gas in a pan, and he was cleaning all his parts with gas, and of course it was spilling on the newspaper, right? And we were just sitting there having a conversation, and his water heater was in the garage, okay? And somebody in the house was using hot water, so the water heater had to heat up again, and the pilot light kicked on, And as soon as that pilot light kicked on, I'll never forget this sound, right? We're just sitting there, and I'm going to try and make the sound, so don't laugh. It just kind of goes, whoo, like a ghost, whoo, and the whole floor was on fire. Just whoo, the gasoline vapors caught, the newspaper was going. We were frantically, trying to sweep it outside of the shop, so we didn't want to burn the house down. And, we got it out, and we didn't burn the house down, so that's, cool. But ever since then, I always keep 5 gallons of kerosene, always, because I don't want to hear that whoo sound again. So just thought I'd share that story with you. So, and let's see, pour some of this in here. Might have some other stuff to clean too, so. I actually think this is just number one diesel, is what I think. And, all right, so get all these bugs out of here. You know, these oil bath air cleaners, they're not really like a high performance deal. But, you know, when you're running around and it's dusty out, and, it's a pretty good deal. Works pretty good. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Get my shop towel here. Dry this out. On the side of this, it shows you your oil level. So how much oil to put in to the air cleaner, the air bath air cleaner. So that's kind of cool. You don't need an owner's manual. You just read the label on your cap and you're good to go. So that's all right. That thing looks factory new now. Okay, so I'm going to get some just 30 weight oil. That's my preferred air cleaner blend. Doesn't take too much. You can see that mark from the inside, so you don't have to kind of pour it in here. Keep it going. There it is. Pretty close. All right, now let's walk back over here. Try not to spill it on the floor. And then it goes up in here, and then this piece here, I guess I'm gonna have to open it up a little more. I figured it would, if it came off, it should go back on, but apparently it needs a little encouragement. Nope, that's not gonna do it. Let's see. Huh. That's crazy. Crazy, I say. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to. Oh, okay, yeah, it just goes right there. I was thinking it went on top of this, but it doesn't. It has a double ledge there, so. Cool. Pretty clever, though. You know, using a little, like, that's pretty simple stuff. I like that. Give it a wipe off so it looks professional. All right, so we got our oil changed, and let's throw some grease on this thing. Man, they got Zerk fittings everywhere. So let's start at the back, work our way around, give it a couple of pumps here until you see it kind of puke out of the hole a little bit. And let's see. I'm gonna slide this over here. There's one up here on the steering shaft. Give it a couple of pumps. I don't remember, I don't think there's one on the touch control. And then, let's see, there's one right here for the clutch pedal. There we go. Give it a few pumps. And then there's also one inside here. They actually have a Zerk fitting for the, look at that, isn't that clever? That just goes up there, hooks on there, hooks onto the bell housing, and you just tighten that wing nut. And when you take it off, it gives you access to the throwout bearing. Let me get a flashlight and I'll show you. There, see it? There's your throwout bearing. And there's your flywheel. And so I'm going to put some grease on that Zerk fitting. and make sure that it never freezes up on me. You know, I really like learning stuff because I forgot that this little hole right here is where you put your grease fitting in, your grease gun in. So anyway, if you got a Super A and you can't figure out how to get the throttle bearing greased, go for this little cap right here. It'll save you a lot of aggravation. All right, so let's keep going. We got another grease fitting here on these touch control arms. So I'll put some grease in there. And then we got grease fittings here on the steering. And we got another one down. Let's see where it is. It's on the back side of this side here. And put some grease in there. And I think there's one right here underneath all this grease. Yep. Okay. And that's for your steering. Okay. And there's one right here. My pivot for my front blade. Okay. There's one center of your steering. And one over here. One at the top. And one down here. Pump. That takes some pressure there. Okay, we got that, we got that. Oh, there's one. When I built this arm here, I added a fitting here for that pivot joint. There's one here for your steering gear. There's one here for the this axle here actually tilts back and forth. You know, it goes like this, so kind of like suspension, and this is a kind of a strut, I guess, or of some sort. So I've got one here for the other side of the touch control. And then there's one inside this hole. Inside this hole. And I think that, oh, this one here. Okay, so there's your grease for the most part. And let's see, I got a shop towel here somewhere. Yep, I had one. All right, so we got the grease. We changed this. We got the oil going. Put another cord on there, get it filled up, because I also need to, let's see, battery's charging. Yeah. I got to put the back blade on this tractor, and I got to put my little front wings on. I'll show you those. Those are pretty cool. Okay. All right, I'll get a wrench and tighten that up. You're probably wondering what this is for here. You know those, you see them in driveways and stuff, the plastic sticks, so that people know where their driveway is when there's snow blowing and stuff like that. Well, that just drops right in there. And then, because of the way this tractor's set up, I don't know if you noticed, but if you come around to the front here, you'll notice that the seat is off to the right. See? It's offset. So I can't see that corner of the blade, so I have to figure out where I put that stick, but it's just a little fluorescent stick, and it allows me to see where that corner of the blade is. So These tractors normally sometimes they either had cultivators down in the middle here, or sometimes you could get a blade down in the middle. And then obviously cultivators back here. But I have changed this tractor. It now has a 3-point hitch. This is the original drawbar that came with the tractor. And then this, I have this on here so that I can yank trees and things like that without putting any strain on the other parts, so because it's tied right to the frame. And then these obviously hook into here, and then this top link hooks into here, and I can use current implements that are on the market today. So we've got to put this on today too. Also got to throw the chains on. And I'm going to finish putting the oil in, and when I get done with that, I'm going to show you how to fill up the gearbox and the rear axle, so stay tuned. I've got to check the oil and the gear oil in the gearboxes for the rear tires. In order to do that, I've got to remove the drawbar, and I got to take the drawbar off anyway to put the back blade on. And so, might as well take it off now. So, just loosen it up here. It's important to use the drawbar for pulling stuff because it takes all the load off of everything. It gives you a lot of pulling power because you're pulling right off the frame. So. I added this little bracket here to hold this in place because it would slide back and forth and it didn't really hold it very well. So this is my own adaptation here. And I put, come on baby. That's like chewing gum and patting your head. See, not everybody can do that. Okay, so that part's off. I'll put these nuts on there so I don't lose them, because I might. Okay, now there's another bolt in the center here, where this drawbar actually attaches to the center of the. There's another mounting bolt in there. Oh, I guess that takes the other socket. Huh. I'll have my camera professional hand me the socket. Thank you, dear. This off. All right, that's out. Okay. Now, this can come out. So you see, this is a pretty heavy piece of steel when it's bolted back here and then bolted up front here, and it's pulling from both ends. It gives you a lot of pulling power, so that's why you pull with that. And I got one more here. It's also bolted to the frame here, so it's a pretty solid connection. Oops. Man, boy, it was tight. And I think I got, yeah, there it goes. Good. One down, one to go. The weight off of it. This thing is heavy. Okay. Now I'm going to grab these guys here. Maybe. There we go. So pull these pins out here. And I don't remember which one goes on which end, so we'll find out here in a minute. See if this is the right size. Yeah, I can see I've got these adjusted at 2 different lengths, because these deals here were welded at 2 different lengths. I don't know, whoever had this tractor before didn't line those up, so. I think it goes the other way. Let's see. Yep, that's the way it goes. So then these clips go in there. And this one here. And this one here. Then I take this hardware stuff here, and where the 6-volt battery used to go, that's where I put all my stuff. So actually turns into kind of a toolbox. So it's pretty handy. You can just get that off of there. There we go. The only downside to this toolbox is there's a hole over on the other side where the battery cables come through, and I discovered that hornets like to build a nest in there, so I periodically have to just squirt some wasp killer spray in there to keep those guys from getting too comfortable in my battery box. So now I'll show you. I'll finish buttoning this up, and then I'll show you how to access those gearboxes for the tires. All right. I wanted to show you this. This is the drawbar here, and it attaches to a ginormous bolt here. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but this nut, it's tapered, kind of like I guess like a wheel lug nut, right? And then there's a tapered seat in here, and it centers it inside there. Okay, well, whoever thought of this deal is kind of goofy, because you have to get this out of the way in order to access this drain or this fill plug here, so that I can put oil in this gearbox. This is the gearbox for the differential for the back. So anyway, it's a 1/2-inch socket, which is kind of handy, and it takes regular gear oil, 90 weight gear oil, and unscrew this thing. Boy, it's got a lot of threads on it. That's a serious drain plug right there, folks. Okay, now take my gear oil, with my squeezy bottle. And it's not very scientific, but oops. Ooh, just squeeze it in there. Until it leaks out like that. I guess it didn't go down too much in oil, so that's good. You know, this thing leaks oil all over the place. And I think that's just the nature of these old tractors. You know, unless you're going to take them all the way apart and try and make them all new again. But we'll check both sides, and then we'll check the transmission. Make sure that's okay. Okay. Wipe up that. And we'll go to the other side. All right, let's get over there. I got that other side done. I didn't think you needed to watch it. It was just the same as the previous side. This is the fuel plug for the transmission. And I'm going to look down in there, and I think it could use some oil. So we're going to add some oil to it. There's no synchro rings on these transmissions, so if you don't get the clutch just right, it will make a sound. And we just squeeze it in there. You know, it's going kind of slow. I'm gonna make the hole bigger. Taking too long. That's better. That'll go a lot faster. Make sure I got oil in there. Ooh, excuse me. Alright, so the plug back in. And then we'll check the oil on the PTO. That looks pretty good, actually. I think we're okay there. I don't really use the PTO on my tractor, but it's available if you want to use it. A lot of guys will hook it up to and use it for digging post holes, things like that. But because it's offset like this, it's a little more difficult to hook it up to a post hole digger, because it's got to come over to an angle to the center. And then with these tractors they were using, there would be a wheel on here. This wouldn't be here, and there'd be a wheel here, and they'd have a big wide leather belt, and it would drive, you know, like maybe a baler or something like that. It's pretty cool. All right, so I got that. I'm trying to think now. Let me just put the back blade on. Roll it up here. So what I'm going to do is, so I don't have to start it, is I'm going to take this off so I can raise it up and get it in there. And I'm going to raise that up there. And then when I start the tractor up, I can raise this up, hook this on, and then I'll get this stand out of the way, my portable stand. So let's see. This right here. Get that locked in. And swing this over, lock that in, and then maybe, if we're lucky, this might go. We'll see. These things are set up so that they have a left and a right hand thread, so they'll get longer and shorter just by twisting the tube, which is pretty clever actually. Actually, I think I'll go this way. Okay. And then I can run this back up to where I normally run with it. Right there. Pull this out. Might not be able to. I'll have to start it up. So you know what? I'm going to show you how this works with this crank, because it's really cool. All right, so let's pretend like I come out, turn the key, nothing. All right, so I'm going to pull the choke out all the way, right? Set my throttle about there. This button here turns on the magneto. So turn the magneto on, okay? And come around to this side here. And we got to turn my little, this is a lawnmower on and off valve, because the carburetor tends to get flooded if you let it sit. So turn on the fuel. Wait, was that on? Oh, that was on. Yeah, I already had it on. Cool. All right, so come over here. And sweet spot. Almost went. So when the electromagnetic pulse comes, you know, and everybody's automatic cars are not running, I'm driving down to the grocery store to get gas in my 48 International Super A. And I'm going to put this on here, lock it in place. Let's see, what do I got to do next? Charging the battery. Oh, I got to put the chains on. So I'm going to dig the chains out and we'll be back. These aren't your just ordinary auto parts store chains. This is like 80 pounds of serious chain. And so what I do is I jack up one side and then kind of roll the tire around and kind of adjust them as you go because they get twisted. Okay. And you hold them like that. And then, here's how those steels work. You've probably seen these before. The steel, you hook the chain in here, I'll show you, and then you pull this down and hook this little ring over it like that, and then it can't come loose. So it's a pretty simple system. So what I'll do is I'll hook the back one first, and I'll make that as tight as it can be, and then the front one I can adjust. So go all the way in, slide it in and tighten it. Come on, baby. There we go. All right, and this guy, let's see, I can't remember if I get just one. I like to get more than one latch on it. Let's see if I can adjust these over a little bit. These things make a huge difference. When it's icy out there and you need some traction or something, man, these things, this thing is almost unstoppable. It's pretty cool. All right. I'd like to get this one here. And I can. Good. You can hear it getting tight there. There, see? Then what I do, rotate this around, and then there's a piece of loose chain here because I cinched it all up. So then I just take a zip tie and zip tie it to this link because otherwise it just flips around and slaps on the sheet metal and makes a lot of racket, and it's just not the right way to do it. So, all right, folks, we'll let it off the jack, and we should be ready for me. Well, there you have it, a 48 International Super 8. Got it all winterized. I'm going to check the radiator, make sure that's good to go, and I'm ready for the snow. So hopefully next time I'm going to get back on this 87 GMC pickup project. So stay tuned for that. I got one of the good fenders, well, pretty good fenders here. It's got some rust on it right here that we got to fix. So hopefully next time we can get after this fender, get it cleaned up, get it ready for paint, and anxious to get back on the GMC project. So it's been fun. Be sure and like, share, and subscribe, and take care. I'll see you next time.